We said goodbye to Orish with one last look at the stork's nest in the centre of the village, and we headed out onto the open roads towards Varna. This is an OMV service station. In my opinion, they're one of the best in the country, and we normally come through here late at night, so I've always seen these places deserted. I was quite amazed to see just how busy they get during the day. There's so much beach frontage at Varna, it's difficult to know which one to choose on any particular day, but the main thing is, with all this heat we've been having here, that we find some shade, so a bar which is undercover. In Varna this time we stay in one of 3 rooms advertised as the glass rooms, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to stick to the interesting features, which is mainly the bathroom. Very nicely done out, the bathroom, and I loved the mirror for me to shave in because it had a touch button in the middle of the mirror which gave me light. And now why it's called the glass room. The glass room actually describes the material, the frosted glass, that the ensuite bathroom is made of, and I've sent Ruth in, she went to take some photographs of the mirror too, to show you just how well you can see through this. In one of our stays just before COVID began, we stayed in an apartment which had a view across this swimming pool and out to sea. From the room we couldn't actually tell what we were looking at, you had to go down to road level to see that it is an outdoor swimming pool. We'd gone back to this area because we really liked it the first time, and we ended up having some food in one of the bars on the beach. And as I've said before, the beach is right next to a huge piece of parkland where you can go and cycle, you can walk, you can skateboard, or you can take one of the road trains that takes you to different parts of the park. A few months ago I showed you that there was a dolphinarium in the park area. There's also an aquarium, although it's quite small. There's one room which has got some tanks in, and we had a quick look around those. And there's another room which has just got some static exhibits. It's not very expensive to get in, but there isn't really much of it. In another part of the park, right by the sea, there's a little stage and some seating, and we quickly gathered that this might well be used by school parties who come here on field trips. We came across this party of school children as we walked a little further along the seafront, and I'm guessing that they'd already been to the little stage area for the opening talk. You might actually be wrong about these being school children, because we found out while we were in Orish that the school there broke up in June. In fact, I think we were there on the day that they were all saying goodbye to each other. They have an extremely long summer holiday and don't go back till September, just like our kids. So maybe these are summer activities that we're looking at, run by a different organisation altogether. They hire electric cars for the same price as diesel cars. Bit of a catch there though. You'll see that there are these charging points around Varna, but as soon as you go outside, sorry, it's like running out of fuel halfway to Svishtov. We couldn't really entertain an electric vehicle for that trip. There is a train service though from Varna to Svishtov, so let's go and have a look at the station. It looks a very grand building from the front, and we've seen the timetables. Every few hours you can get a train down to Levski and change on to the local train to Svishtov. We had our lunch in a bar just by the station, and it was the Golden Sheep microbrewery. I think I've got that right. The food was very good, and of course so was the beer. The toilets were interesting. I don't normally take my camera into the toilets, but the urinals were unique, and don't forget to wash your hands. We generally eat quite late in the evening, and it's usually dark by then, even in the summer. I think we had Italian this particular night in the restaurant with all the lights whirling around, and then we walked back through the town and past all the other places just to get a bit of the atmosphere. The following morning we took the bus to the airport, making a point of getting there 3 hours early. That's what they tell you to do, but you don't get let through security till 2 hours before your flight, so we spent some time in the outside cafe having some lunch. I'm on my phone, excuse me. Yeah, never disturb a man when he's on his phone. Final thing I want to do is show you the bus. The timetable on the bus stop says they're every half hour to the airport. They go from Golden Sands up the coast into the airport, and they certainly are more frequent than every half hour. We were sitting in the cafe watching them come in, and I would say at least every 10 minutes, probably a bit more than that. You can't leave that car there, mate, you're in the way of the bus. Anyway, that was it, our last 24 hours in Varna before we headed home, and hopefully we can be back there sometime after the summer. Goodbye, Bulgaria, we'll miss you.